What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at the team that went 17-3 in the Open Great League against some of the best battlers in the world. I was just off the leaderboard when I started running this team, and it definitely did put me onto the leaderboard. Also helped me climb back to Legend, and yeah, it was a 201 elo climb in just 4 sets. Absolutely insane. 2 5-0s in there, 1-4-1 and 1-3-2 as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get into these battles. I have a lot of them because I wanted to make this more of a full guide of how to play this team. It is a bit spicy, so you're gonna be in some uncomfortable situations at times. I definitely wanted to talk through as many as I possibly could. So let's go ahead and get on into the battles. Alright, so game 1, we have Shadow Magnezone up against Lanturn. You're going to stay in this no matter what because you don't really want Golbat on it, but it's definitely better if it is Spark, which this one is. So we can tank one Surf. It's not super comfortable. Magnezone, of course, doesn't have a lot of bulk, but we can, and we can easily make it to the back-to-back Wild Charges. Now, I'm going to throw after 5 Volt Switches instead of the 6 because I feel like it's easy for them to catch if I go for the 6. The Wild Charge basically takes out there anyways, and I can just snipe with Goodra, keeping some energy on my Magnezone. Magnezone's so versatile, like, even if the Wild Charge is resisted, it's going to hit hard. So if I have a chance to bank energy on Magnezone and get out, I actually do like to make that play. We do lure out a Shadow, or a non-Shadow Feraligatr right here, which isn't exactly a Goodra answer. So I'm reading that they're weak to Goodra in the back. I'm okay with using shields here. And I am running a unique moveset on Goodra, or I guess an old moveset on Goodra, with the Power Whip and Aqua Tail. I'm not running Thunder Punch. I tried Thunder Punch originally with this team, and Goodra didn't feel good with Thunder Punch, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it helps against, like, Skarmory, but that's kind of it. Skarmory and, I guess, Empoleon. Either way, those matchups aren't good. Those matchups are still not good unless you have a really nice energy lead. So it just makes more sense to have Power Whip rather, since it is a bit more energy efficient, and it really does help out in like the Lickitung matchup. The Lickitung matchup is just miserable with Thunder Punch and Aqua Tail. So that's the reason I went with it. Anyways, I made a bit of a misplay here. I actually lived the move from this Gligar. I could have got the Aqua Tail off there, and I wouldn't have had to take an Aerial Ace. I should be okay here because the Feraligatr will be able to CMP me here. Like 2 HP remaining. They'll be able to take me out, but I do still have that Aqua Tail bank. So as long as the game works properly, which it does this time, we're going to be able to get this Aqua Tail off, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Let's go. Yeah, there's a few games that I definitely don't even play that well, but I was still able to get these climbs. Still able to have that really good day. All right, Jellicent lead. We have basically 3 answers for this, right? We have Magnezone, which is doing super effective the whole time. We have Golbat that has Shadow Ball on it, and we have Goodra that has Power Whip. So all 3 can hit it for super effective. When they come in with the with the Guzzlord, I decided to actually stay in and see if I can't get a shield advantage here. I go for the Mirror Shot. They no shield it. I'm gonna go for another Mirror Shot. They threw Dragon Claw, which was really nice. It allowed me to be able to overfarm here, still grab the shield, and keep a little bit of energy on my Magnezone. If there's something like a Skarmory in the back, it'll be able to get to a move. Outside of that, probably not going to be able to get to a move, but it's there as a 3rd shield if I need it. Alright, so I come in with the Golbat. They do land the Crunch and get the debuff, so that puts my Golbat really low. That Guzzlord kind of ran through my team there. I'm not going to lie. I'm not in a super comfortable position anymore. Because Jellicent comes in, they can Hex down. I'm not even going to make it to the Shadow Ball. I do make it to the Poison Fang to get that defense drop. So when I bring in Goodra, they don't have a hard answer. They're going to be stuck in here debuffed. So they are staying in. They're throwing. I'm expecting a bait, but I throw with the shield just in case. And there it is. There's the swap. It's going to be Clodsire in the back. So since Goodra has all this energy, this is a pretty good matchup for my Goodra. I'm going to be spamming out these Aqua Tails. They will for sure be able to make a move here. Even if I threw my next Aqua Tail immediately, they were still going to be able to get off the potential Earthquake here. So I decided to overfarm, knowing I'm going to need energy to handle that Jellicent later on. Here comes the next Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail going to be enough to take out from here. Yes, it is. And at this point, they had enough for the Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go ahead and throw. They throw up the shield. I'm expecting them to wait till they have back-to-back moves, knowing that my Magnezone still had some energy on it. That's exactly what they do. We're able to catch the Shadow Ball right here. And now, not 100% certain the Aqua Tail is going to do it, so I am going to go for the Power Whip. We're going to be able to get there before they make the next Shadow Ball. That's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, Definitely one that, again, I could have played it better, but we're able to take the win. Just thanks to the versatility of the team. All right, we have a Deoxys defense lead and a Wigglytuff save swap, or in the back at least. Absolutely hard countering me right now. We have Power Whip, which is nice. It hits the Wigglytuff a little bit harder, but this still isn't really farm down range for Magnezone, at least not comfortably. Because the Charms plus the Icy Wind or the Disarming Voice, whatever they want to throw, it still chips away. It still chips away. So we're going to go ahead and eat this. They do go for the Icy Wind, which does hit less hard, but it does also drop my attack. Now I'm going to be able to overfarm, farm up to 5 Volt Switches. That way I will have a Wild Charge banked if I want to throw it into the Deoxys. With my attacks dropped, I decided to go ahead and swap out anyways. Yeah, Deoxys, okay, so there's 3 leads that in my opinion are the toughest, and I've included all 3 of them. Mudboys, Vigoroth, and a Deoxys. Mudboys because of they're doing double super effective damage into Magnezone, and the Poison Fangs from Golbat are resisted. Deoxys because it's doing super effective into Magnezone, and the Psycho Boost and the Thunderbolt or the Rock Slide are all super effective into Golbat. And then similarly, Vigoroth has Rock Slide to be able to hit Golbat for super effective. So all 3 of those pretty tough. As I've climbed higher, I see a lot more of those in the lead, but they're still manageable. And there's plenty of other things that this team dominates that makes up for those weaknesses, in my opinion. So anyways, Lickitung comes in. We do have to use our final shield. I go straight for the Shadow Ball here, which in hindsight, it's never the play. It was never the play, because if I go Poison Fang there, we just win, right? Because I make the next Shadow Ball, I'm able to pull that final shield, they're debuffed, and then the Wild Charge KOs. I went straight for the Shadow Ball, it cost me. GG's, well played. We were hard countered, we made it very close regardless. Alright, speaking of tough leads, we have a Vigoroth right here. It's another matchup where Power Whip definitely does help out, and you're going to see it right here. They're going to stay in, they're going to throw the Body Slam. Aquatel's not going to do much here, right? Power Whip's going to nearly take out. So we're going to be able to fire off this Power Whip right before they are at their second Body Slam. And yeah, it nearly takes out. I could throw up a shield here, but I'm also not too concerned about the damage that this Vigoroth is going to do to either of my Pokemon from this HP. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go. Both of my other 2 Pokemon are pretty glassy, so having even shields can be very nice. Going to be a Skeleturge in the back, and I'm just like, oh, this game's probably over. The Skeleturge can just 2-shield through me pretty well. I'm going to bait with the Mirror Shot, looking for that attack drop. We do not get it. I'm bringing in Golbat, and I'm thinking, at least with the Volt Switches, maybe I can Poison Fang and farm down, even though Poison Fang's resisted. And then I just need like a Grass type. I need a Grass type or a fighter that doesn't have a super effective move into Golbat. Maybe we can still win this. I'm going to go ahead and throw up my second shield right here. It is going to be the Shadow Ball. I can farm down at this point, and we do just that. Now Golbat has a little bit of energy. Out comes the Talonflame. I learned my lesson from last time. We're going to be baiting right here. And yes, it does pull the shield. Can I outpace to the Shadow Ball now? Yes! Shadow Golbat outpacing. Is this enough? It's a non-stab Shadow Ball, but yes, with the defense drop, going to be enough to take out. And we wing attack down the Vigoroth as well. So Golbat able to get the sweep right there. That's GG's, well played to my opponent. Honestly, if I hadn't just played that game with the Deoxys that had full sent the Shadow Ball, I probably would have full sent there as well. And I don't even think full sending there is a bad play, because I think most people are going to no-shield that first one. But luckily, I have full sent it, and it worked out for me. Alright, Chargerbug lead. This is a pretty neutral lead. 1 X-Scissor is not going to KO your Magnezone. 1 Wild Charge is not going to KO them. So what I like to do is I like to build up to 6, and then I throw my Wild Charge. If they CMP, of course, you're going to have to throw up a shield. If they don't, you can get out, and you can try to snipe it with your Goodra. We do throw out in a Zumo here. We're not in the best of spots since we did give up switch advantage and we gave up shield advantage, but Goodra fights back really well into the Zumo with Power Whip. It fights back okay with Thunder Punch, don't get me wrong. Like, you can start using shields, you can fight back. Power Whip just hits way harder. And you're going to see right here, we're going to be able to force the shield into 0 shield. So that's really nice. That's so nice. Power Whip coming through, taking out the Zumo actually. Now they're basically down to their last Pokemon. They do have a little bit of health left on that Chargerbug. It's going to be Gligar in the back. Here's the thing, Magnezone with energy is really good in this. I go ahead and I go for the bait because any kind of chip damage here will just set my Golbat up to be able to just farm this thing down. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the second mirror shot here. We pull another shield. And I know I'm at the Wild Charge here. I decide to throw up a shield, and then I'm expecting them to come back in with the Chargerbug, which they do. So now I have that Wild Charge banked. I can just go ahead and Poison Fang this, or I can stretch for the Shadow Ball. I think I was definitely counting at the time there. I'm not counting right now, but yeah, I knew I could outpace the Shadow Ball. I tried to go for the CMP there. It looks like they just didn't throw on the CMP. Regardless, Shadow Ball should be enough to take out, and that's going to be a GG's played. Oh. Alright, moving into the next battle. Magnezone up against a Lickitung lead. This is, on paper, a good lead. We're resisting the body slams, but they have so much bulk that it's a little bit awkward. Say swap into a Typhlosion. They do throw the 3 Incinerates, thinking I can survive a Blast Burn. Not well, but well enough. I don't want to go down shields here. Actually throw the Thunder Punch. And now, I throw a little bit early here. Normally I would just go for the farm down, right? Because they still needed one more Incinerate to get to the Blast Burn. And then I started thinking like, yeah, the Dragon Breaths plus the Power Whip is going to really help me in this Lickitung matchup. Make it so Golbat can even handle it later on. So I decided to go ahead and throw early. There we go. We connect with the Power Whip. Can I make the Aqua Tail as well? Barely do not, which is unfortunate. But again, we can come in with Magnezone and we can absorb these body slams. They are resisted. 2 of them plus Licks do take out. But without the Licks, we can easily tank. In the back, going to be a Poliwrath. This is a bad bait. I should just full send it here. There's no reason to bait. They throw up the shield anyways. We can come in with Golbat. They're going to have to get to 3 Icy Winds to do any kind of damage. And that's just not going to happen. I could just go straight Shadow Ball here. I could go straight Poison Fang. The thing is, if you go Shadow Ball, they don't make a second Icy Wind. If you go Poison Fang, yeah, they make a second one. And then it's like, you kind of have to use that second shield. Anyways, I go for the Shadow Ball. They don't. Jeez. Alright, Alolan and Sandslash, they are all running Powder Snow from what I've seen so far. And they also all bait on the first one. Here's the thing about Sandslash. There's always an Azumarill behind it. So I like to keep Magnezone healthy. Yes, we have Golbat. Golbat's a good answer for Azumarill. Breaking my lights back here. Golbat is a good answer for Azumarill with shields. But why not have 2 answers? Right? Because we don't know what the third Pokemon is. And yeah, if we can have 2 answers, well, why not? You're going to be swapping in the Annihilate. I'm going to be bringing in the Goodra, expecting to lure out the Azumarill at this point. They're actually staying in. They throw the Night Slash. I'm forced to throw this Aqua Tail before they make it to another Night Slash. So not going to be able to commit to the Power Whip. I'm expecting a shield here regardless. But oh, actually we do not see the shield. So I'm going to be able to put my Golbat on this Ape without them having a lot of energy. But what's in the back? It really comes down to what's in the back because they do have the shield advantage. I have some energy on my Magnezone. But it definitely still doesn't want to see this Annihilate. And there it is. It's still the Zumo. It's still the Zumo. But since they have the shield advantage, this is still a little bit... I'm going to be going for the Poison Fang here. And I decided to actually swap out because I'm thinking these boat switches are going to make it so that Mirror Shot is plenty to force the final shield, which it is. But my opponent plays this really well. They farm up a lot of energy. They throw the Ice Beam there. And they're going to actually be able to outpace to the Ice Beam just before I make this next Poison Fang. So that's going to be putting my Golbat very, very low. And what I have to do here is I pause. If I take that bubble, if I throw the wing attack and I take that bubble damage, I get countered down by the Annihilate. So instead, I pause only 1 turn. If I pause 2 turns, I have a chance of taking that bubble. So I pause just 1 turn, make sure the Azumarill is indeed staying in. I throw the Poison Fang in. Into the next one. Whimsicott lead, and they save swap into Goodra. The Dragon save swaps are a little bit strange. I do like to stay in, and most of the time I just throw Mirror Shot. Because now we got that Volt Switch damage, and we can just bring in our own Goodra. We pulled a shield there. I decided to throw this Aqua Tail, only because they were over farming by quite a bit. And if they happen to have Draco Meteor, I wanted to make sure I got some guaranteed damage into it. It's just Aqua Tail, no big deal. regardless, like if I farm down, that energy is not really going anywhere into the Whimsicott. Well, I might as well throw it here and get the Goodra nice and low. So I'm taking less Dragon Breath damage. In comes the Whimsicott. I'm going to be able to barely get this Power Whip off. Power Whip, of course, the harder hitting of these resisted charge moves. Puts him into the yellow. Now I decided to come in with Golbat. Reason being, Magnezone's low enough that a Moonblast is kind of threatening. Golbat can take it a little bit better since it's at full HP. The back going to be a Water Gun Lanturn. Now, when you see Lanturn come in, do not immediately swap. It's tempting. I get it. It's tempting. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're going to go ahead and stay in. Go ahead and get 2 Poison Fangs off since this is Water Gun. Since this is Water Gun, we were able to stay in and get the second one off. If it was Spark, we would have had to swap after the first one. And at this point, I can just use my shields. I can just Volt Switch this all the way down and have a ton of energy for that Whimsicott. Whimsicott should be pretty much dry at this point, and the game should be pretty much over at this point. Opponent knows it. They top left. That's the GG's. All right, another Lanturn. I think this one's a Water Gun. Oh, this one's Spark as well. So we'll see if we play it the same. Do we go 5 Volt Switches? Eat the first Surf. Yeah, so I'm gonna go like I'm going 5 Volt Switches, but they swap out into Dragonair. This time I decide to full send here because I'm thinking if I full send, I can farm down with my Golbat and have some energy to be able to threaten that Lanturn when it comes back in. They're gonna be able to get a Body Slam off on me here. Does put me in potential Spark down range. But I'm also going to be able to connect with a Shadow Ball, or at least throw the Shadow Ball into the Lanturn. After the Volt Switches, the Shadow Ball is going to be pretty threatening. Probably not enough to take out, so we might not see a shield here. But it does put them into the yellow, nearly into the red. And now we're able to align our Goodra on this thing. Now, being this is a Lanturn lead, I was kind of thinking this is probably a loss since Lanturns are weak to dragons, right? They should have a good hard dragon answer. But to my surprise, going to actually be Gligar in the back. Now, notice I did throw up a shield there. This is my last Pokemon. I knew they were only going to get to 1 move on their Lanturn, so I expected it to be the harder hitting Thunderbolt. So I do throw up the shield there, even though it is a resisted move. My Lickitung here is shielding a bait. So I am going to go ahead and let the dig come through. We're going to be able to make it to another Aqua Tail, and then immediately just get out, get to the Wild Charge, and Wild Charge this Gligar. Area is coming through. That will pull the final shield. Now, Wild Charge, of course, is going to drop my defense. I'm hoping I can survive 1 Spark afterwards. I should be able to. We get the Volt Switch damage there, and Dragon Breath down. He's well played. And moving into the next battle, up against an Zumo lead. So, great lead. We have 2 really good answers for it. And again, we have seen Goodra. If it has energy, it can handle it as well. Going to be a Trevenant save swap. Really interesting. I'm personally wondering how the Trevenant save swap looks in today's meta. There's a lot less normal types running around. Like Noctowl is not a thing anymore. Nobody runs Pidgeot. You don't have to worry about those things. I think it might be a decent save swap. I don't know. I haven't tried it out myself yet. Looks decent. Regardless, we have a Golbat, so we're able to actually pull a shield and get switch. Now we have a Golbat with energy to be able to do some nice damage into this Zumo. I did make a mistake here. I should have thrown the Poison Fang immediately. I thought the timing was wrong, and then I realized, well, it wasn't. That's all right. They're going to be able to get the Ice Beam off right here, or actually Play Rough. So this one's running Play Rough Hydro Pump then. And Covagrigus comes in. I'm just going to overfarm just a little bit, which I think kind of throws off my opponent. Yeah. Because we do connect with the Wild Charge. Even if we didn't connect with the Wild Charge, though, we were in a dominant spot there. We were perfectly fine. So GG's. Well played to my opponent. Alright, Deoxys defense lead again. They're able to actually win this. Because like I said, this is one of the tougher leads. I did want to make sure that I showcased how I play it. I eat the Psycho Boost. That's the normal plays. They're going to stay in. They're going to Psycho Boost and dip. They almost always have a good answer for Goodra, regardless. So no real reason to throw up a shield there. I'm going to be able to connect with the Power Whip there, and that forces them to throw. They actually throw pretty much immediately here. Which I guess makes sense, right? Extra energy is not doing a ton into the Magnezone, but extra health does force me to throw energy. We're going to eat the Body Slam here. I think they were almost at another body slam, but this isn't going to take out. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking. It's not going to take out. They're not going to get the body slam, but I had the chance of the attack drop there. We still do leave with the wild charge. But it's going to be a Diggersby in the back. And I'm just like, man, this game's unwinnable, right? But I decided to play it out. This was actually, I think, my second battle of the day. And I was kind of wondering if this team still worked. I played this before League shifted the last time. Played before the League shifted the last time, and it worked well then. So I wanted to give it another shot. This was the second game. You know what? Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Fire Punch comes through right there. So they're running Scorching Sands, Fire Punch, which is a huge blessing for me. Nothing is threatening, and Deoxys counters are double resisted, so those aren't really threatening even from this HP. So I am going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, knowing that's probably my only win con at this. And it connects. Like, okay, hold up. We have 2 shields. We have energy on Magnezone. So after I throw some debuffs, the energy might actually help out. Fire Punch, of course, coming through. We're going to shield that up. We're going to get this Poison Fang off. Can Shadow Golbat take out both a Diggersby and a Deoxys defense? I think it can. We're going to go ahead and just throw up the shield here. And I believe I throw... No, I don't throw because they haven't used any of their shields. So able to get the wing attack down there. And that's a GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, moving into the next battle up against the man himself, Purple Kyogre, trying to make his legend push and running a nightmare lead for us. Mud Bomb coming through. We're gonna go ahead and tank that. And out comes Skarmory. I'm like, man, where's my Thunder Punch? But this is not bad. Mud Boys are definitely a team effort, so I am happy that I got some Dragon Breath damage into it there. And I'm actually really happy to see the Skarmory. I'm going to be able to farm it down with my Magnezone. He ends up throwing here. I think I might have made another Aqua Tail there, so I think that throw is perfectly fine. And even after throwing, he's able to make a Brave Bird. So this is going to do a lot of damage, but I know my Magnezone's not doing a ton against the Whiscash, so I'm going to go ahead and eat it. Now watch, I'm going to stay in here. Even though Switch Clocks are misaligned, I want to stay in here, and I want to get this Wild Charge off because I kind of need it to be able to easily handle this Golbat, or this Whiscash with my Golbat. So, breaking my lights here. Going to come in now with my Golbat. I'm going to shield up the Scald because it would do a ton of damage. In the back, going to be a Shadow Tentacruel. Again, we have basically one win con, and that's to land the Shadow Ball. So we're going to full send it. It connects. And now we are in a good spot. We do have to shield up the potential Scald right here. Is the Scald, which is huge. No attack drop. Now in comes the Whiscash, but it is so low on health. I don't even have to bait the Shadow Ball. Going to full send, or just immediately send the Poison Fang. And at this point, the game is ours to win. We're going to get this next Poison Fang off here. I was actually thinking I might barely be outside of Scald range. He gets the Scald off here. And so if he's one Mud Shot away from the Mud Bomb, he still wins this. But luckily, he is at least 2 away. That's going to be GG's. Well played. GG's Purple Kyogre, by the way. Good friend of mine. And he actually did hit Legend later the night after we played. So go ahead over. I'll link his channel down below. I'll link the video down below if he's posted his Legend run. And make sure you congratulate him. Drop a sub if you're not already subscribed to Purple Kyogre. Alright guys, that is going to be it for today. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. I really enjoy this team. Like, this team is just fun to play. It works really well. Shadow Golbat is very underrated. By the way, it's like number 36 on PvPoke and nobody's running it. Like, what's up with that? That's nuts. Run Shadow Golbat. It's worth it. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members. Your support is appreciated. Until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.